Ready to
Mother.
do this?
Yep.
Going to see Mother Nature.
Dude, it's got an F on
They only got 7 million.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, that's such a bad.
We got 35. Oh no, we're not going that one.
Well, yeah, like it kind of.
Yeah, but like I think it's fucking insane that it got 3,500 screens. What are they talking about? What are they doing?
Well, it's. I don't know. It's Hunger Games.
Yeah, but this is not
because people
give this.
That's because we're recording.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going. But no,
Whoa.
that's
We're doing it live. We're doing it.
Just give me my raspberry tea and raspberry vodka. Did you want to sip of this?
No,
It's got some splashes of vodka in it.
Got some coffee.
Oh, you got coffee and I have alcohol.
Yep.
Where's this from? Sip and when? Dunkin'.
Dunkin' Donuts. They're
Double D.
Sorry, no donuts. It's gonna be called the Dunkin'. You know
Yeah.
what that's?
Well, it's Domino's did.
KFC.
Domino's did something very similar, where Domino's took out pizza.
Go there. And go there. Yet.
No.
Is it any good?
Yeah, they're the Mediterranean place. Yeah,
This is my favorite place here.
Yeah, you lied.
Tour in Philadelphia. We're doing it. We're touring Philadelphia, everybody.
Let's just not hit Camden on the way back like we did for a Baby Driver.
Last time was awesome. We ended up on the other side of the bridge in the worst neighborhoods ever.
Not getting shot.
We're like,
not getting stabbed.
I don't know. I thought it added flavor. This is my favorite shows. It's just we're in the car.
Yeah.
We're in my car.
Yeah, so the amount of screens is obviously the perception or the dumb idea that they think someone like Jennifer
J-Law.
Yeah, like that Hunger Games can open a movie wide by themselves. That's
she's not the draw of this movie.
Well, she was never the draw for Hunger Games, and she was never a draw for the X-Men movies.
She was bored in the X-Men movie. She didn't do anything.
Yeah, but they pushed
She's
Mystique.
Doing another one. She signed for fucking.
Yeah, but because they think they think she's something more than what she is. But I'll tell you one thing.
Well, that guy was signed.
How
do you learn that?
No, he's there every day practicing. Yeah, I've been walking by him a few times, and trust me,
call that?
He wasn't that good when he started.
No, he would drop the sign.
Yeah, he would drop it all the time, but now he's pretty good.
What do we call this? What would you call this?
I don't know. That's someone getting paid to twirl a sign.
I know, it's really
2 months free rent.
2 months of free rent.
And these are I was thinking about moving into these. Yeah, Hanover North, and it's a hell of a space. It's a good value, and it's right off of Broad. Half a mile from City Hall.
What's this?
Like, you don't get
whatever I want with this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
speed,
illegal.
Speed racer over here.
Yeah, I know. I just did an illegal move. I couldn't make it. I couldn't do the hard left.
You're just doing it. You don't care.
Doing it live.
Yeah. Look at this guy just jaywalking.
Oh my gosh.
Jaywalking slow. He don't care. Look at it. And
J-Law walking. He's J-Law walking. He doesn't care.
But yeah,
I guess she's just like racking up money.
Well, it's the perception that she can open. What was that latest movie? Life or Passengers? Passengers. Yeah.
Passengers, by and large, should have been successful. You have the two most beautiful looking people in
space. Not though. It's not because women don't open movies. They don't.
You got the Star-Lord in there.
Yeah, but it's
Star-Lord and Mystique.
Yeah,
in the same
but
movie.
it's still
What's her name? Pieter. What's her name in the Hunger Games movies?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, look.
Peter's the guy.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a very similar argument with ScarJo, where ScarJo only has Lucy, and Lucy, I think, was the concept grab people, not ScarJo, and yeah, like you got Gail Gadot. What's she opening if she's not Wonder Woman?
Nothing. She's just up keeping with the Joneses, and it makes no money. It makes $20 million.
Yeah. So do you?
You got John Hamm. You got Zach Galifianakis. You got you know what I mean. Like you have a good group of people, and that can't open.
Yeah, and studios do stuff like this just because they can say they do it, so they're not accused of not doing it.
Mm.
I think it's pressure. I think it's that vocal minority creeping up and dictating policy or smart moves. But this movie, even now, is at a incredible loss because it's only at 7 million. I know, but here's the funny thing: this week compared to last week, this guy just walked by me. He's a quick walker. Oh my god, he walked all the way over here that quick?
the sassy walk.
Yeah. I think he's got like a little bit of he's got a little bit of torque in those hips.
Yeah,
when he's walking.
doing great.
Yeah, so
Trying to cut this cop off. There's just cops following me.
yeah, it's Philly. They're not looking for you.
They're looking for me.
They're looking for perps.
That's me. I'm a perp.
It's like Serpico. it's like Charlie Day when he thinks he's Serpico and Always Sunny. It's like these crooked cops. But yeah, so
Gal Gadot. Well, see, I think it's fascinating that the Wonder Woman, by being a B, I mean, it's a full B plus, but it gets like super A plus status because it was the first good DC movie. So they give us 2 garbage piles of shit.
yeah.
And then they give us like a serviceable B plus film, maybe like a B.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I gotta see Wonder Woman a few more times.
It's the most profitable film, really.
Yeah.
She got paid $300,000.
Well,
They didn't pay anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the character had draw, but the character does have more draw than what I anticipated. However, with the success of Wonder Woman, you would think DC, and they had time for this, would shift their advertising to make Justice League Wonder Woman heavy, and it's not.
I don't think it. Yeah.
Right? It's not Wonder Woman heavy, and you would think that they had an opportunity to do that, especially with Whedon coming on, who's obviously going to inject some of his points of views, because we know how he feels about females.
Well, yeah, but did you see the Whedon ex-wife come out?
Yeah.
And
well, they're all hypocrites. This is why you get upset when you're being brought to school in movies, because yes,
that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about this movie because I don't think this movie's going to take you to school, because it's literally in the middle of a fucking field. They're in a house. There's no one there. And she just restores the house, and he just tries to write poetry.
Yeah.
So I don't see how there could be any message. My prediction is that based on what I know, I'm going to love it.
Based on what I know of Darren and that Noah BS, yes, I will be taken to school in this movie. Okay, and I'm so grateful that Darren did not get year 1, because I think he would have destroyed that character for film for a long time, more than Batman and Robin. Like, even though I don't think Batman and Robin destroyed that, it wasn't what people wanted. I stand by Batman and Robin because it's a kids movie. It's a solid superhero kids movie. But yeah, I don't know. I think Darren is incapable of making the movie that doesn't, especially when you have the perception of a built-in audience and you have a major star.
I mean,
and she's very stupid and political.
She's terrible. Did you read the shit she was saying last week?
I saw something about the hurricane.
Her tweets are
and
just
Trump.
awful.
Yeah. Well, she's as bad as Chris Evans when it comes to that nonsense.
Just like, don't talk. Just
yeah.
Just do not. Just put on outfits.
Well, that's not your job though, and that's not what people want from you. And I get it. But social media again destroyed that too.
Yeah, I don't want to know what De Niro thinks. I don't. He'll tell me. I'm not interested.
Yeah, like how tempting is it though to know you can do stuff like that, and to know people will pay attention to you though. Like it's so tempting. It's so tempting not to run your mouth, and these people are all about image and attention. Okay, and that's why the politics stuff. They don't. There's no way they even. I don't think they even mean what they say. They just know what they say gets attention. Okay, and they might follow the lead of their favorite news program, which is definitely anti-Trump and left-leaning. But anyway, yes, here we are. We're rolling up to the theater.
They have no spots. All handicap spots.
Yeah, it's all. Well, they have to. Like, you gotta do that stuff by law. You know, you can't trust the theater to know.
Like I should have hit that stop sign by law.
You can't trust the theater to know what percentage of handicapped individuals go to their theater, and to equate that to available parking spaces on average.
I guess.
Yeah, you can't. You're not trusted to do it as a business, so the government needs to come in and dictate it to you.
Yeah, I mean, under here it's always like a big factor that you're gonna get it.
Yeah, so real quick, you're excited. You want to go into this movie. I'm excited because he does make visual movies. The only movie of his that I've only ever rewatched more than once was The Wrestler, because it's the only rewatchable movie.
It is.
Okay, right. I've seen Pi once. I've only seen.
I saw Pi in the movies.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You saw Pi?
Came over here. I went to.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Requiem for a Dream I only saw once. I kind of refuse to watch that movie again because it's another movie where I view it as pointless.
The free wrap.
Go nice.
Duncan. Yeah.
Is that a white omelet wrap?
It's a racist. It's a racist wrap.
Mark just wanted a racist
Only
wrap.
white.
Yeah. But yeah. But
she's not Batman. She's wearing a Batman shirt. Am I supposed to believe that she's Batman?
Hey,
just beat your kid right there. That's fine.
Oh my God! Here we go. It's coming out.
Here it comes.
It's coming. Mark's anger is seeping through the sound waves of Dream Warriors.
She just spit, man. What is going on?
Yeah. Well, you do forget we are in Philadelphia, and there's an element here.
What do you think they saw? They just took all this look at the mother.
I saw it last week off of Broad near Temple. Reserved seating still, and there were still kids in that.
There's tons of
Dude, there were kids running around, like not scared, not shaken, like just excited for it. And that I don't think that movie has over the top visuals for adults, but I think for a kid, like yeah. And dude, these kids are running around like they don't give a damn. And I'm like, man, what's their home life like? Like, like where it's like a cartoon to them. I'm like, how are they living? What is happening to us? But anyway, so yeah, it's either way. This guy knows how to put together a movie.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a point of view, and I don't know. I mean, I think some of this too, the wide release is potential Oscar bait too. I think that's part
to me. But don't you think at a certain point you should have been like, hey. Like, what was the... I don't know, I guess we didn't look at the budget, so I guess we'll look at that after.
I think the budget was $30 million. 35 million.
Right.
Same as it. Same budget as it.
Oh, well. That's the problem, is they're coming out this close together. At some point, they should have been like, you know what? Give more screens away. You don't have to. I'm not sure how that works, like, commitment-wise. It went open on 3,700 screens.
Yeah, I mean...
a lot. Like, they probably should have been like, you know what? How about 1,800 screens?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
the per screen average is going to show all jacked up.
You gotta look at it too. That the weekends, the releases, all that's decided maybe a year in advance.
Right.
You pick out your weekends. Jennifer Lawrence definitely hotter, more of a commodity. She's had skids since Hunger Games, right? Like even X-Men Apocalypse, skids since Hunger Games. But you don't know that when you make that decision of how movies are going to play. So you're betting that she's having other successful movies outside of Hunger Games, so it can come in hot. And that's, like statistically and, financially, it makes sense. It's a low-cost movie, and it can potentially hit a chord. Now, the movie just doesn't have excitement, and it did kind of sweep things, right? Like, it swept the country.
Completely. Yeah,
or I wouldn't say the country. It swept the movie-going community because that's all that exists now. There's not the film audience that we grew up with. It's a film community, and sometimes people go. And sometimes...
I'm a little shocked that we're seeing this in a super mainstream where we're a mile away from 2 art theaters of like that they would be prime. That's the first thing I looked up. I went on. I was like Ritz East.
Yeah.
Okay, Ritz 5? Okay, Ritz of Divorce. So I'm like,
yeah, I thought we were going to go to the to Washington Square to see this. Yeah.
It's not playing there.
No,
the
which
Ritz
is crazy.
Have it at all. That's bonkers to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it would be,
So I wonder if it's expensive to get.
It could be. Yeah, you know I mean, like, she carries, she still does, but it's just one of those, like, false flags. All right, so we're going to sign up for this.
We're the Dream Warriors. We won't dream no more. We're the Dream Warriors. And maybe tonight it'll be gone.
beer to the parking lot.
Just in time.
I got a $7 Coca-Cola slushie on the way out.
Good.
Which is a medium.
My mommy texted me. I should text her back and tell her to take the church group to see this movie.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Take your knit club and all your little Sunday friends.
Is this the entrance? I'm going to go out anyway. There we go.
In through the outdoor.
That's what she said.
Yeah, yo, motherfucker. All right, so, okay. So, should we just do a yes or no recommendation first?
Yes.
You're saying yes.
I'm saying yes and yes.
Wow.
But this is the thing. Here's my caveat: is that I think our theme, in when we do these shows, it's me going, man, I just saw this movie. I can't believe I saw this crazy fucking movie. Maybe don't go see it, but I enjoyed myself. But don't go see it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a yes and a cautious yes.
Okay. All right. See, I like to just be black and white, and I would definitely say no. 100% not to. This movie doesn't add anything. I think the outside of the filmmaking part, because some of the filmmaking I thought was very well constructed, especially the spoiler. Whatever, we're doing spoilers here. The rioting inside the house, that sequence was very well made. That was a very technical. The riot, the overall meltdown. The layering,
climax is fantastic. I think the climax is on. It's
the layering. Yeah, the layering going into the last 15 minutes, very well made.
I think. See, I
think everything.
I go back to just going back to and I didn't like it until the climax. I was actually very uncomfortable, and I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what time frame there is. There's no cars. There's no road.
There's no cell phones.
There's cell phones to show pictures only, but no one.
Oh, right, correct. Yeah, when
they handed
with
pictures.
Jackson Pollock. Yeah,
Jackson Pollock
shows them.
So
Ed Harris.
Oh man, and then I didn't really feel any religious things until the Cain and Abel part.
Yeah, well,
I felt that was just like, here we go, Cain and Abel.
Well, I thought maybe I was asking you if you were following this at one point.
And at one point, you were absolutely not.
You were like, no, and that was when he wrote the one sheet, and
why is it one sheet?
My contention was like, that's the 10 Commandments. So here's the whole thing. So I think some of it's very literal, some of it's abstract. I think what doesn't come through is bad narrative and bad storytelling.
So let's reel it back. So we're reviewing Mother, which from every trailer does not really tell you anything other than they're in a house. He's trying to write. She's restoring the house, and then people start showing up. And it invokes the paper advertising. Invokes Rosemary's Baby. The actual which I think is confusing because the woman next to me knows that, and that's all she kept saying. The woman that's at she's like, okay, Rosemary's Baby. She's pregnant. Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby. So I think that's a terrible marketing.
Yes.
And then the other part of the marketing was weird porcelain-like paintings.
Yes.
Of Jennifer Lawrence with her heart out.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, what is that?
So here's the thing. So
marketing wise, big thumbs down.
Yeah. So I think
really confusing.
The Jennifer Lawrence side of this movie, when it comes to allegory, metaphor, and repurposing of ideas, it's very confusing because she represents Mother Earth. She represents the Earth, not like the physical Earth, the spirit of the Earth, and she also represents the Virgin Mary. Okay, so those things, if you're making a commentary when it comes from religion and what religion does to humanity and humanity's relation to Earth, she's a very lazy vehicle to portray what those emotions are and what those feelings are and what it does. Because not only on the other side now, so you have her, you have all these very loose concepts cobbled into her, which are sloppy, okay? And then the counter to that, you have something equal with Javier Bolden, olden Frankenstein's monster, Old Country for Old Men. We were talking about this while we were peeing. We don't know how to reference this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, Skyfall over here. Okay.
Skyfall for old men.
So his side is equally sloppy because you have
the creator. What is he exactly?
Well, okay, so he comes in.
Golden Donuts.
Yeah, he comes in as the voice of God, God and the voice of God. Okay, but here's the thing too, though. They're also smacking the Old and the New Testament together, which is very sloppy because there's.
I like that. I thought that was fun.
Well, it's fun. It's fun to if the movie didn't try and swing for the fences as much as it did, and if the movie was more abstract, it would have worked. But they went literal, and that's where you have to pick a side of that because the Old Testament doesn't flow into everything. There are schools of thought and churches for the Old Testament, and there's ones for not. Okay, and cobbling them together and saying the repercussions of both of these have done all of this stuff, which is kind of like Christianity, is very harmful because, like, we're still in the country where a movie like this can exist, and the laws of this country are interpretations of those rights given to us by God. So this movie exists because we believe that God has given us rights. So now you're making a commentary on that, and you're sloppy about it. Okay, but the movie is still well constructed. It's one of those movies where it has so many problems. I feel like it has a ton of problems, but at the same time, though, it's interesting to see what they were trying to do, and I think that's my biggest takeaway. There you go. Sorry, we're just sightseeing here in Philly again. Mark's committed not to get us into the.
I'm going through a very high-end neighborhood. Do that?
Yes.
I went the opposite way.
Yeah. So
look at that building.
Yeah. These have all been
I've never been
constructed and repurposed.
Where would they get their drugs? Where do they get their drugs? That's ridiculous. I guess a couple of
we can still go a few over, and it gets very dark.
I just stopped.
It's very dark.
That's fine. Mm-hmm. I don't know. See, I don't mind. This is where like the artist in me like is totally fine with shit like this because that movie just now pushed me around in a way, and I like that. I feel that like the inverse is seeing something like Valerian, which is lazy, which is everything I've seen before, which isn't challenging me in any way. The whole first hour, I'm very uncomfortable. I felt like her. You are her. I told you. I said I am suffocating. I need a fucking establishing shot. I need a wide angle. I need a shot. This guy's gonna murder me. Like, I need a shot. He's literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's the green light?
I would just go.
No, I can't do it. No eye contact.
Just go. This is the funniest thing.
This is exactly like
someone
the movie.
is just.
This is exactly
someone
like
is
the
now
movie.
standing outside the car.
I know, right?
I can't staring at us and waving at us.
I feel like the movie has just entered my life. That's what it was. The movie was all very intrusive. So like people intruding in her house.
But do you? So here was another problem and another break was that if the point of view is her, like not knowing things and not being able to figure things out, then. But she goes along and accepts these things as they're happening.
I don't think she can like, breathe.
Yeah, but
she can't.
Yeah, but the thing is, so like it's almost like a concept that doesn't work because they disappear and she's accepting of them coming back. Yeah. Oh, this is an awesome bar right
That's
there.
a great bar.
Yeah,
I love
Frank's
that bar.
Yeah.
They put the Pope Frank on the side.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, they put the Pope. Yep, Pope Frank. He's a Frank.
Yeah, I just thought her side too just never came off for me at all because she's not the point of view. It's like it's hard to pinpoint like where we are related to her. Are we seeing it through her eyes? Like all her plights.
It comes down to like I don't know what year it is. I don't know why she doesn't use paint. There's no paint. It's all spackle. She's coloring spackle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and well, that could sometimes be they're throwing texture up on the wall. They're doing that like those textured walls. That's how I picked that up. But then they were painting that the house party people.
Yeah, but only when people came in, it changed from. Remember, he doesn't write in pen. He's writing in a quill.
Yes.
There's nothing in that household. It's an old school icebox. Downstairs is I don't know what year it technically would be.
Yeah, well, but real quick though, like side note,
it's like guy, he's wearing a dress.
He's wearing a kilt. Hey, Philly on the Sunday.
What's up? Philly on a Sunday.
Philly on the Sunday.
It's awesome. Wear your skirt outside. What's the big deal?
Yeah,
so what?
Doing it. So no, it's
doing it live.
It's still, I think my biggest problem though is like she knows how to use a phone, so that's
it's her rotary phone.
Yeah, so but there's that. But at the same point though, she's not surprised when they disappear and they just vanish and there's no car, and she just like that's what I mean.
She can't leave. She can't leave the house.
Right, but at the same time though, she knows
like the village.
She knows about things around the house, like phones and like cell phones and pictures. So like where are we with how do we read her? Like it would have been different if she was just a straight up regular person and she was living a married life and every time they tried to do something there was a house guest and the husband allowed them in and she couldn't get those people to leave or listen to her. But it wasn't that though.
It started off as that.
Like, it did, but I never came... There's other movies that did... Like, The Money Pit, but Tom Hanks does it freaking better. Mm-hmm. Like, there's other movies where they do that angst and that anxiety and that... Dude, Keanu Reeves... the Eli Roth Keanu Reeves movie. What's it called? Knock Knock?
Yeah.
Dude, that movie has the same type of, like, please get out. Please listen to me. It's a million times better than this movie.
Here, 2 blocks away, wasn't it?
Yeah. This weird. Is we're in the neighborhood, man. Everyone's sitting outside.
Like 2 blocks before was dead.
Yeah,
weird.
No. This is this is kind of like the restaurant district.
Yeah,
the Gatorhood.
It's the center city. Mm-hmm. The center of the city. I don't know. To me, I don't know. I don't care.
I just didn't feel it.
I say everyone see it. I say everyone see it and hate it.
But why though? Like why?
Because like I think it's an experience. I think that people should see it.
It's not an experience spending $13 to see a poorly conceived idea.
I think I like it. And it's so funny because as the whole movie until the climax, I was not enjoying
the best thing about this movie is her boobies in the beginning, her butt in the beginning, and her boobies at the end.
Now, you can't enjoy the one at the end. It's brutal.
I don't care. That was hot, though.
Too brutal.
That was a little hot, though. Sometimes everyone's into that scenario.
Now, the thing that see, to me, I think the climax is fantastic. I think the climax, because there's so much to unpack there. I could watch the climax. That it was probably half hour. Yeah, because you couldn't breathe. Every room, and it felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like to me it was like Snowpiercer when they would go into another thing. They would go into another room.
Yeah, and that was I'm telling you that was awesome. Yeah, like the dudes coming through the glass, the people coming down the stairs,
and even the button at the very very end. And I would say we don't spoil the very end.
But here
like the button on the end.
But here's my other criticism. The bridesmaids girl. Okay. What she does evokes ISIS. Okay, there's nothing what ISIS does that comes from the Bible or Christianity. Nothing.
Well, hold on. Okay,
zero.
What I took out of that was she represents, in my mind, she's like media. She's exposing. She's promoting. She's promoting the book.
You thought she was media.
She's complete media. Absolutely. She's either staging it, or in some way it's propaganda or media.
That's interesting.
I find that I
would accept that. I took her stuff as literal.
She's like, I promote, like, because remember the 2 phone calls that were received. Look at that. Is that guy dead?
No, he just fell over. Yeah.
Oh, it looks awful, right? That looks really terrible.
Tough, yeah.
Woo. Everything looks different after that movie.
This is a bad. This is a real bad. I'm so happy we're documenting this. There was literally a guy just like spilled over onto the street.
He's on the road though. Yeah. He's in like the bike lane.
Yeah, I think someone was. Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, there's
out of that car?
There's a homeless shelter up here.
Should I pick him up? I'm not gonna pick him.
No. They were already getting him help. So, but yeah, I just feel okay.
All right, let's go character by character. So,
You want
Ed.
you want to stop it? You want to wait till we get inside? We'll go through the characters.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go. Let's just do like the overall summary, and then we'll go character by character. For me, I don't know. Like to me, if movie moves me around and pushes me around a bit. Last year, something similar happened. It was around the same time with Swiss Army Man. Swiss Army Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that though.
And when I left that, I was like,
but
okay.
see, Swiss Army Man does the same thing, but it's the abstract part is so far left field that you pick up the concepts. This wasn't abstract enough.
Right, they do spell it, but then they spell the concepts.
I don't. You know what I think could have been better if she was like a matron d' for a restaurant, or if she was one like the hotel, like she worked in the hotel, and there was all these things happening in the hotel that represent all these other things about human history.
Okay.
Like, you know, like then I'm like, oh, but some of the best movies are that. Like the movie Warriors is a concept on 300, okay, and like stuff like that to where you're like, oh, okay. I mean, like I get it now. Yeah, they're skateboarders. Oh. Yeah, they love the tunnel and everything. Yeah. This is no.
Now.
Why? He's fine. No, he don't do anything.
No, that guy. No, it's because I got
the guy.
I got the.
Well, you want to try and hit Buttonwood? We'll go all the way around. Do you know where you park in? Let me show you where you park in Buttonwood.
Yeah, I can't park right here because they got the hydrant.
Yeah, it's well. I thought you were going. Oh yeah, you're right on top there. I thought you were a little further away. Yeah, make a right on Hamilton here. Right here. This is a two-way street. This is one of the only two-way streets. That's
in the world.
Yeah, that's in Philly. But no one really. People always honk at each other here. They always honk, but they don't. It's like two people don't know it's two. Yeah, when people come down here, it's like the funniest thing sometimes. Yeah, so make a right and just go down 13th, hit Broad, make a right, and then make a right onto Buttonwood. I'll show you some of the basic parking. So. Not done driving yet. Philly's not letting us go.
Great. We're not. What's that? It's a tight. No, it's not deep enough.
There is definitely a lot of girls out tonight, though, right?
That's too tight.
That's what she said.
Yeah, okay. They don't have parking on Cali, right?
Oh yeah, turn here though. Oh damn it! Because I wanted us just make sure we hit Broad. I think you can turn down here. I think you can sneak it.
Sure.
I think you can sneak this one. Oh man.
There's a stop sign. That means I can go down here.
That's what she said.
People live down here?
Yeah. And I'm assuming they're pretty nice places. Like people own them because they're never for sale or up for rent. It's like a little secret block here.
Secret block.
Yeah, so make a right here and then make a left on Callow Hill. There's just a lot of things happening right now. Philly live. Philly for live.
Right back to where we started.
Isn't it always? So, okay, so...
Where was I supposed to go just now?
I want you to make a right on the Buttonwood. So, yeah, just make a left here. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna show you where you park on Buttonwood. Because Buttonwood runs parallel here. It's only accessible off of Broad. So, very few people park there. Like, only the people around here know where to go on Broad. Yeah, so, and you can use this whenever you come over, just so you're not totally reliant on parking outside.
Pretty good at it.
Yeah, you really are. You're one of the people.
Great.
Yeah, my not Noble. Hold up here, not here, but next one. Yeah, that's Noble. Hamilton. No, yeah, next one's gonna be Buttonwood.
Not Hamilton.
See, slow down. Right up here. And right here. Yeah, see? So this is the end of Buttonwood. Buttonwood only runs here to like Fishtown. Okay, so slow down. Let's see if we not going to hit there. Well, it's actually... Oh, wait, stop.
That's better.
Yeah, what you say, right here? Yeah. There was one back there, too.
It's closer.
That's what she said. Here we go. And then all these buildings here, just about all of them, just got zoned for reconstruction. So they're building all this up now, that quickly. We just gotta start doing videos.
Bargaining.
Okay.
There you go. We're just figure it out. You don't need that, but you can use it. You can use the filter. Let me just drop it. Yeah. I think.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. We're go. We're go. So a little bit of a, I guess, because I always forget to ask you about this. Have you been listening to the show? Have you? I knew you listened to it. Have you noticed differences in the audio? Has the audio been improving, or
I think the last one with the beeps.
Oh yeah,
the beep intro. That's good. Yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Is it because of Adobe, recording in Adobe, or
well, no, you know what it is. There's been a lot of things that I've experimented with on the audio coming in, and how it's getting outputted, and so a lot of those initial like pops and like those they all kind of get null now. So they're there, they're just not as noticeable. But it's also, I've noticed that when it's cross-platform. So if you're listening through your computer, through the television, through if you're listening to it in your car, or like even through like Bluetooth, like the audio, from what I could tell, is better like across the entire board. Like it's more consistent now. It's way more professional. So, but the next phase is to upgrade the soundboard into almost like a there's just like smarter versions of soundboards that that leave less variable. So it's almost like a smart box, and you set it and you plug everything into it, and it just records the same way like all the time. So there's like no variation. So I think I'm going to upgrade to that, because I think we're going to, I guess, leaning into Dream Warriors next year already, that I think we're going to start going to maybe like not going to conventions to be a part of the convention, but lining up people to talk to while we're at the convention.
Cybertronic Spree.
Yeah. So, well, no, I can reach. They follow, like, we have interactions on Instagram, and I could reach out to them.
Yeah, I mean, even if we had a blurb, we're going to be up there. You know what I mean? Even if we just had a thing and say, hey,
well, here's
just for exposure for our listener base.
Well, here and for them too, because they don't have a lot of social. They're not that great on social media.
Right.
Okay, but
because I couldn't find them the one time I searched for them, and then it was like I could only really go through YouTube, but.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. Why not? We'll try some stuff out.
Well,
why not?
Well, here's the thing.
We're super famous.
We do need
Javier Bardem.
Super famous.
I'm super famous, just like Javier Bardem.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll talk more about that later. But yeah.
Mother.
So we're. Would you say we're? I don't think we're divided on this as much as what we would like listeners to do with the movie. I think that's where we're divided.
I think you want to give people. I have been on the show since episode 10 saying, hey, I just saw this awesome, amazing thing that I really enjoyed. However, it is difficult for me to recommend seeing it. Yeah. I've been doing that with everything. It's like, I really like this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you should see it though. I don't know. Like, I mean, I just watched 18 hours of Twin Peaks, and that's a very specific. I watched Twin Peaks the other day. The last 2 episodes of the.
How did that wrap up?
I don't really know still. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the point, is that I watched the 2 episodes they showed back to back on the last thing. Then I didn't. The one episode ended. It was like the first ending. It was part 17 and 18. 17 ended really well, and then 18, I don't really know what happened. And there was a part in the middle of 17 where it literally had a weird bleed, where you just saw big Dale Cooper's face.
Yeah.
For about 4 minutes. So I didn't really know if that was another dimension bleeding in.
Oh.
And then you can watch them side by side. You can watch both episodes side by side. They're the exact same length. There's different screams that reach out, and it goes back all the way. I won't spoil anything. Not that anyone who wanted to watch it probably watched it. Yeah. But there was a little bit of like Days of Future Past situation where something happened and something else didn't happen in the past, and it may have created a different timeline. And it was nuts. It was nuts. But I feel that like the people that were on board with it are on board, and there's like about 5 or 6 YouTubers that are like as soon as the post goes up, you see the views go crazy, and then you just see comments like, I was so waiting for this. I clicked right on this. Because we don't know. I mean, so to me,
this was maybe because I had 18 hours, and that weekend when they showed the finale,
Yeah.
I rewatched probably 10 of the 18 hours. I watched a lot of it. I had it on, and me and my girlfriend were doing stuff, and she's like, "I can't make heads or tails." I'm like, "Either can I." Most of the time.
Yeah.
And then the finale I end up watching twice, and then I watched YouTube videos on it. So
Yeah,
I think Mother's a little bit more literal. So when you say, "Oh, it's too abstract," all I've been watching has been abstract.
Yeah, but-
every week.
yeah,
for
but-
18 weeks.
But even
17 weeks.
Like, so here's the thing: if you don't pick up on the political, not the political, the religious,
And that's
like
that's I
tones
just when
of this movie,
and that's been
it's very
out
confusing.
there.
Yeah,
It's been out there. He's basically saying that. So the allegory of the whole movie, the whole. We're going to break it down. So basically, break it down from the set. So the set essentially is Earth. Yes, or the house is Earth. You agree with that?
Yeah. Sorry, getting up there to kill the overhead fan.
I mean, and he's actually. So I just went through because I tried to go blackout for most of it. I was able to pretty much until just now. You're in the bathroom. I'll run through some stuff.
Yeah.
He apparently tweeted out that you should go read The Giving Tree as a pre-read for the movie.
Okay.
So that's okay. That's about God creation and the Earth. You probably read it as a kid. So that Earth is the house. The house changes and breaks apart, or people break the house, or it breathes, or the heart hurts, or it's bleeding, like literally. So at one point it explodes. At one point, when it was a series of events that made the house hurt, the Cain and Abel situation, the blood downstairs, the light bulb exploding, like it just kept changing.
Yeah. So.
And it was breathing. And there's a lot of good sound design in it, and I think for that, like there's different, and watching Twin Peaks, his sound design is unbelievable. This was similar. There were spurs.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know what that was like.
I don't. Yeah, look, the movie definitely is going to take time to digest. I think it's going to be a good movie to let it sit in you. It's not so weird, disgusting, or off-putting to where you don't want to see it again. And I say that because movies like Requiem for a Dream, the Passion of the Christ, are kind
Black
of
Swan,
like,
I think, is similar too.
Yeah.
You don't really want to watch it.
Yeah, you're just kind of like
it's unsettling.
Yeah, but I think this one has enough to. It can definitely sit, but the reason, like I said, the reason why I would not recommend this because you have to stick with it, and I don't think the payoff is there if you stick with it because it's so loose on exactly like where are the concepts and what's replacing what. So is Ed Harris and Catwoman, are they Adam and Eve?
Jackson Pollock and Catwoman.
Okay, yeah, and then if we're doing Cain and Abel, why, like, what does the spirit of the earth have to do with Cain and Abel? And that's
right.
And this is what I mean by like sloppy, because it kind of, so like the whole point of the movie is that third act, but that third act should have been the entire movie, to where like when you see people breaking into the house and stealing things, and you're like, yo, like that, like people do that to the earth. Like people should see some type of representation of this that's not like strip mining or deforestation.
Right.
Like they need another visual for this. But here's the thing. None of that has to do with religion. It's more like the concept and the argument for that act is more about the responsibilities of like capitalism, and where does capitalism begin and end in relation to our environment. And that's the real position, but young Hollywood is obsessed with being atheist, and they're obsessed with deconstructing. Look, they lost on two, they lost on Noah, they lost on Exodus, they lost on Ben-Hur. They're going to lose on this. That's 4 movies now where they basically tried to deconstruct what's essentially like they ignore the history parts of the Bible. They ignore the parts of the Bible that are history and true. So even if you're atheist, there's so many lessons of history and insight of history in the Bible. and they ignore that and they just focus on these like weird like platitudes of how the Bible defines right and wrong. And the thing is, though, it really doesn't define right or wrong. Like, that's not the point of the scripture. And I'm I've never been in the church a day. When I go to church, I swear to God, my skin burns and it gets all itchy because I'm not supposed to be there. Okay? I'm not supposed to be there. Okay? And I had this conversation with someone the other night where I said, look, you don't have to worship, but if you're failing, you're failing yourself as being a adjusted person if you don't respond to the concepts that are in the Bible and how they relate to society. And that's what you have to be like cognizant of. And this movie makes this point to where when you have people like killing each other over religion, okay, what does Earth have to do with that? What is Mother Earth, what is the quote unquote house, the representation of the house have to do with something like, and even though people interpret it wrong, but we'll just say the Crusades. Like, what does Mother Earth have to do with the Crusades? And the movie could not, like, that's to me a sticking point where like it's sloppy. It's sloppy. It's two teenagers going back and forth on the Facebook feed about that stuff, and now it's a movie. Like,
I don't know. I guess I can understand that. I guess, but are you coming from? I didn't really think of it as Earth right away.
I like, to honest to God, I picked up on that in the very beginning. When she was burning and he places the stone, and I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing. It's going to be a cycle. Mm-hmm. Like, I picked on that, but that's a trope we've seen in movies. A million other.
I think he did it in The Fountain. He did it in.
Yeah, he did do it in The Fountain.
Yeah,
yeah, and that you know what? Would you just let's talk about him real quick. Like, it's to me, it's The Wrestler and it's The Fountain, the two best movies of his, because those to me are the two that are most rewatchable. They're rewatchable, but they also have like a definition to them, and they're not loosey goosey.
I almost think that The Wrestler is not that it's not his movie, but it's a complete departure in a way. So he makes Pi, which is about creation in math.
Yes.
Okay. It's about patterns in creation in math.
Yeah.
And it's about all of his movies are about obsession, 100%.
Yeah, you're gonna actually remind me a little bit because it's been so long since I've seen Pi.
It's just a guy trying to figure. I don't really. I saw it in the movies, and I saw it maybe one time after.
What year? I may have seen Pi on. Holy crap! I might have seen that on VHS the last time I saw it.
It's very possible. So we're talking about the director, writer-director, Darren Aronofsky. But I almost feel that The Wrestler is not. While I think it's fantastic writing, it is far away.
You don't think it's one of his
98.
movies, so. Okay, so 98. Yeah, so that's definitely a VHS.
Yeah, I mean, it's not super. He's not super prolific, really, when you go back to him directing.
Yeah, he has.
He did Requiem for a Dream in 2000, which is completely about obsession. That's also a different type of thing. That's about addiction
it's more about addiction.
Drug addicts, and two different types of addiction: prescription addiction, because Ellen Burstyn's experiencing a different type of addiction where she has hallucinations and from not taking her meds, from going back and forth.
Well, yeah.
There are some similar takes there. There's sounds coming from inanimate objects and inanimate objects.
So like my whole takeaway with Requiem is, again, my whole position with a lot of his movies. Again, very well made, well directed, technically awesome, but Requiem for me, what the failure for that movie was and why it doesn't just hold up, like I have no desire to ever see that movie ever again, is because I really don't feel like the movie has a point. It has no lesson. It just wants to show pain. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of naive if you don't think that type of like pain, like you don't have to see that type of pain when it comes to drug addiction, especially today, because there's so many things out on drug addiction today. Maybe back in the 70s, that type of movie would have probably won every single Academy Award. Mm-hmm. But so it gets a little like I was expecting the Joker, ripcord, right, from G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. The girl.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, the girl from Labyrinth. Like, I think of the 5 or 6 characters in that were the focal, right?
Yeah.
One of them, when I remember, like, again, watching it, to where I was hoping that one of them had a redemptive arc, that one of them understood it and got out of it.
No,
but
no
they
one
all, they all end up
Yeah.
in pain. And it's just one of those things where it's like, like, it doesn't have to, because even, like, you can argue that a movie like Taxi Driver it's a cycle of pain type movie, but at the end, it's kind of like, oh, he's cured or maybe not. And Clockwork Orange, same exact thing. You're like, oh, cured or not, and they leave that little question mark. But at the same time, you can take away that they're cured from it. Requiem is just a pile driver.
It's a lot. Well,
It's
then
a lot,
there was
yeah.
a big break after that, where I believe he was in development hell for Batman, and then it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then because there's literally a 6-year gap to the Fountain.
Yeah. Have
And
you
the Fountain
have you
failed.
read the script for Year One?
No, I don't know. Was it ever out?
I don't know. I had it downloaded at one point, and I got so stuck on reading and rereading Batman Triumphant. That,
I've never read that either.
Yeah, I got like so into that, and then I got into the J.J. Abrams Superman.
I've read that.
The-
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, but I just
So these are all what we're talking about. These are all scripts that are not.
No.
That's the one thing when I do listen to our shows back. I'm like, we make references. We know what we're talking about. No one knows what we're talking about. So there was supposed to be a Darren Aronofsky Batman Year One. He was supposed to be working with Frank Miller. This was coming off of Sin City. So we're like, wow, this is crazy. We're gonna make a Year One.
Yeah, all of Hollywood was all Frank Miller for
They were
about 3 years.
Going to do it, then they didn't. Then they gave it to Nolan. Nolan made his
They gave it
grumbling
to
Batman films.
They gave it to the better guy. They really did, because I don't think knowing how this guy knowing how Nolan interprets material versus how look, there's no other book on earth that is more suitable for filmmakers to interpret than the Bible. There is no other mining of content.
So you're gonna say like Batman.
No.
There's no other.
Yeah, and knowing,
Dark Knight Returns.
And knowing what this guy did with the Bible twice, I'm kind of like, no, he should not touch.
His next movie is going to be
he-
more Bible.
He should not. He should. Is it really? I just.
I don't know anything about it.
I just don't think he should ever touch a comic book character.
Well, the Fountain is about creation. The Fountain is three separate.
Yeah, but
Is three separate storylines: a conquistador, a man trying to cure his wife, and then a tree, which is his wife, which is him and a. So, I like the Fountain. I haven't seen it. That's somewhat interpretive, a little bit more literal, but The Wrestler to me is almost like not his movie. The writing is really good. It's about.
There's.
It's an indie film. It's like
It is, but there's so many. Look, I don't know how much of him is in that movie. I never really thought about it. To me, it's just one of his movies, and it's still but even.
But there's no science fiction in it. There's no real obsession in it. There's actually redemption in a way, because he at one point talks to his daughter, and then they break into this place and they're dancing. There's actually a happy moment. There's no happy moment in any of these films.
Yeah, but the
Zero.
thing is, the pain comes back because he gets, because I love The Wrestler. He gets drunk, and they do cocaine. He gets drunk. He bangs a girl, and he misses their dinner date.
Yeah.
And the daughter just now fully rejects him, and then he goes knee deep into wrestling. Is like, just going to.
But he basically
kill myself.
I know, but I think that it makes him happy.
Yeah, but
there's a strange melancholy in the last.
I don't know if it makes him happy.
He's
accepts
entertained.
his fate. I think
whenever he's the whole thing. I think the point in that is it's about his obsession for entertainment. He loves to entertain, even when he's in the deli.
We're picking it up differently. I think we're reading it differently. We really are, because at the end of the movie, Marissa Tomei comes back to him.
Doesn't matter. He looks at her, but it doesn't matter. He knows he's going to die.
They talk, and he goes, no one cares about. No, he says, no one cares about me in this world anymore. And she goes, I'm here, and he walks out. He chooses his fate over happiness, because in the beginning, of the movie, his whole position for her was like, he doesn't want to like he wants someone to help take care of him when he gets too old to take care of himself. So like and that comes back to him.
I think he's happy to die.
Yeah.
To me, my interpretation is
I agree with that.
in the entertainment while he's entertaining at the end, and when he knows he can, the guy tells him, he's like, you can tap out, let's go. You're dead. You're dying. You're having a heart attack right now. He's having a heart attack essentially. They don't even, and I think that's where his sound design works. I think you don't know he is, but you know from the sound design that happened before when he had his heart attack.
Up, it's getting
I feel that's where he Aronofsky completely excels. He does it in this film with sound design, where you know what's happening a few times, where you're just like, oh, you know exactly what's going on, and I find that pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I just like I think you were more engaged in the like, hey, like what's happening and why are these people here and please get out. I mean, I got sick of her asking people to leave and get out, and I like her whole like. Her entire dialogue in this movie, I thought, was,
"Hey, you can't be in there."
Repetitive, boring, predictable, but the point though is, if she's the spirit of the earth, if she represents,
she's Mother Nature.
Yeah, if she represents the spirit
of
the earth, yes. Then at the point of why not do things to where when nature fights back, meaning that when people are coming in and they're pillaging the kitchen. How come, like, you know, like what I thought what they were going to do when they were setting up the sink. I thought they were like, I'm like, yo, they're going to use like the burst pipes as a flood to push people out. Like Mother Nature is rejecting industrialization and is pushing stuff out.
Well, I thought that was funny. That was a warning early. Then it was like a rule of three. It's like it happened twice. It was a rule of three. Except it wasn't funny. There's nothing funny. The rule of threes, and we talk about hanging a lantern and rule of three, and all these different tropes. We see lots of films. So this one, there was the rule of three of, but I like that. It was taunting. Those people were just taunting at that point. Like, we're fine. We're literally jumping on this.
And that's where you were like, yo, it's coming. Because you knew it was. That was perfectly set up.
And then she screams. She's like, get out, and everyone leaves.
Yeah. But it's not the. But again, it's not the same. It didn't have to say. It would have
been cooler if it was just like tons of water.
Yeah,
like it would have been like cartoonish.
But the thing is, though, it pushes them out of the kitchen. But then the people in the living room are still there doing the same thing, and the people in the other rooms, meaning that like this is a part of the world that maybe a nuclear power plant.
It's Texas. Texas just got flooded.
Yeah, or well, not so much of that because like that's just nature being nature. But when you like for example, like when you have something like Chernobyl, where there's a nuclear fallout because
this is people changing.
Yeah, where
the
people
world.
Aren't doing their jobs. They're not doing their jobs. They're making shortcuts, or they're trying to like maybe beat nature. And nature kind of is like, no, there's laws of gravity, and we're just going to kill you and everyone around you, and we're going to poison this land for 40 fucking years, like 40 effing years. And like those ideas are the ones that resonate. I would love to say that there's like something similar to what happened with the BP oil spill and Exxon Valdez. But the thing is, though, like there's really no like long-term effects at all. It didn't even slow down like fishing and that sort of thing because like people written about this. Like even after Exxon Valdez, like when it was like in Alaska, what they did was they sold their salmon at market. So they didn't mark up their salmon and they had to wipe the oil off the salmon before they sold it. So like there was no like bleeding. Like the bleeding that we were told that happened was this like idea of it hurting nature, but it wasn't hurting like humanity at the same time. And we're dealing with these like that's what I mean. The concepts in this movie are so generalized that they had to been like pinpointed to get some of it across. And all the major ideas are way too general. Like maybe for me, cause like maybe like my receptors are a little bit like I'm absorbing it too much.
And I'm just like, oh, like, because like even with you, it's like I think you said to me like, that's one paper, and I was like, I think
Why is
that's
that one piece of paper?
yeah, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the 10 Commandments. And I think you saw it when they were fighting over it, and then that same guy had it on, like the
next room
he had
within
like
a
a
minute.
scepter. He had like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
scepter of it, and they're all like chaining it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yo, that is the 10 Commandments.
Well, it's a fight over ideology. I thought that's what I really liked. I thought that was like, I was like, what are they doing? Why is, because they're like, he's like, okay, she was pregnant, right? Okay, she got pregnant. Then the phone rings.
Yes.
Everyone gets kicked out. She says, we need to be together. This is why. She confronts him. And then it makes him crazy. Boom, they bang. She's pregnant the next morning. Immediate pregnancy.
Yeah. She immediately knows. She picks it up.
She knows. He starts frantically writing with a quill downstairs, run downstairs. And I thought he was going to go to the room. He didn't. He ran downstairs. He's writing. And then she's doing the celebration dinner. And then the phone, I don't know. There's somewhere in between there. The first phone rings. And it was the publisher. She's like, well, why did you share this idea? It just happened. I just read it.
And that's what I mean. Like, and those
that I thought that was great because it doesn't belong to a person.
Exactly.
I think that's awesome.
But here's the thing: her understanding it in the context that
she doesn't learn anything. She's not supposed to learn. She just keeps not like questioning.
Yeah, I don't get like how that represents as a person, because you technically could have had her as a dog next to him. And just have the dog have a inner narration that you could listen to, like it could have been a bee narrating, like a bee flying around, a flyer on the wall narrating, because her as a character, because she's human, and she comes off as a human being early, like a representation of a human being, like in the first 20 something minutes, she's digesting things as a human being, but she's doing it sometimes and she's not doing it others. And to me, that's like I knew what was happening as it was happening, and because of that, I think maybe I didn't get engaged because I'm questioning her actions more than I should have been. But I don't know, the audience, like, people were like groaning and no one seemed happy.
I was expecting people to leave. I thought people were leaving. People were running out of the theater. Like they wanted to leave.
Yeah, they were like.
And it's so funny, like, because I remember when I saw Swiss Army Man when it came out, the day it came out, and when I walked out of the theater, there was 8 of us. It was the first day, it was the first showing. It was on a Friday morning, and I had off and I saw it, and then I walked outside, and there was 8 of us. We all kind of walked out around the same people, and I said, I remember saying this out loud, does anyone want to talk about this? Like, and everyone just went to their cars quietly. I'm like, just a couple minute discussion out, and I just said it out loud, figuring someone would turn around and go, yeah, so like the end with the thing, was he alive? Was that a hallucination? Like something, and everyone I just wanted to have a conversation, and I had to basically go, what I do with my Twin Peaks stuff is I go online and I read Reddit, and then I go on YouTube and watch theories.
Here's a little bit. So when this Chris Stuckman did, I watched maybe like the first minute of his review on this, and I kind of stopped because he said he kind of, to me, like in Chris Stuckman speak, said things I just didn't want to hear. He goes, I like this movie. There's a lot open for interpretation. I have to watch it again. And then he might have said something to the point of it not having a definite ending, or like a ambiguous ending. And I just stopped and I did a Facebook post where I'm like, I'm sick of movies doing this. Like the age, and I talked about this a little bit with my 31 discussion. Mm-hmm. Okay, no one knows how to wrap up a movie anymore. No one. Like if it's not Transformers, there's literally no way of wrapping up movies anymore. Like, meaning that Transformers, Fast and Furious, we're 30 minutes of explosions, credits, story's over, moving on. And now, because anything that's not that is just it's 2001 Space Odyssey. Like, and it's just, and when 2001, like, when movies like that came out, and there were, again, we talk about Kubrick a little bit, but those movies still had, there was a volume of resolution within the question.
And now I just think we don't have zero there's less resolution and there's more questions. It's almost like flipped. Because even with 31, which is a freaking slasher movie, like they couldn't.
The Rob Zombie slasher film.
Yeah, they couldn't end. Like I saw it and I'm like, you can't effing end the movie. You can't just chop the head off the snake and tell me that the movie's over. And now it's this other like now I have to just imagine what happens. No, I'm done. I'm not done with like that. I'm just mean like I'm done as like the movie's over. Okay, great. And I really feel like this movie would have served so much better if the very end of the movie wasn't there. Meaning that when she dies and he rips out the heart, that led to something. Not just a cycle, but that led to something. Because like I thought, I kind of was like, oh, maybe I got this wrong. Like maybe I have it wrong because when he was breaking the heart apart, and I'm like, okay, like now.
Yeah, you were making noises when he was breaking the heart apart.
Yeah.
You were like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then it was just he had the Necron crystal or the crystal shard.
He had the Macron crystal. Which is that a Marvel crystal? I don't remember that. I had the Macron.
Yeah.
Always comes back around.
Yeah.
I don't need the girl waking up. I thought that was like
yes.
That's a Defenders last 2 minutes of Defenders when I was like I don't need Daredevil waking up. I'm fine with him being
100%,
possibly dead.
Yeah, 100.
But that's the lady next to me who was like, this is Rosemary's Baby. This is Rosemary's Baby. See, that's where the marketing is terrible.
Yeah, but that was
marketed as that. Okay, if this was a horror movie, if they marketed this like a Shyamalan film, like that, there's a surprise ending, I think people would react better to this movie. Because there is a button ending. There's a Matrix Reloaded ending.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
There's the creator. There's Neo, and we're doing it again.
Yeah, but
we've done it a million times. We're doing it again.
When it comes to narrative devices, Neo and the Architect, that scene could have been in this movie, and I think it would have been those definitions.
You could drop it in that exactly.
Yeah,
and it would be fine.
I think, but it would.
You could just edit it in.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a super cut of Mother.
Put her head on top.
We're just gonna put her head. Yeah, and she goes into the one room because at any time she can just walk into a room and there's the Architect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
You could do that. That's fine.
Or
I think that would be great.
Or something to where like just something weird where like the house burns down, but then there's a door left, like there's a door standing, and she walks through that door, and then it's like at that moment now it's the because I guess the very end of the movie is Revelations, right? Like Revelations happens, and now there's a desire to restart. Okay?
See, I could watch. See, the thing that I think is super successful with this movie for me. And all this is just that climax. I can unpack that climax. I don't know how many times. It was 25 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
I could unpack each room. I felt it was very. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, that could have been. I really feel like that could have been more of the movie, like that.
I don't know. No, because I think you needed an hour of being suffocated. I went to you multiple times saying, I don't feel like I need them. I need a medium. It was all. Over the camera was on her. At one point, they actually do a POV shot where she gets yelled at for what she's wearing.
Yeah.
And she looks down, you're literally her face.
Yeah, and I don't understand why guys were looking her over. Why, like, guys were looking at her sexually throughout the entire movie? Like,
because I think they're always they're raping the land.
They're raping Earth.
They're raping
what they were
Earth.
Talking about.
Yeah, and at one point they were literally raping the Earth. They were ripping her clothes off.
Beating her. See. No, they were big. See, now I'll tell you one thing. This is a little bit about my Get Out argument, where if you want to show, like, be a fearless filmmaker and quote unquote be brave, then do Get Out about a white girl going to a black family, because like there's that type of racism too. Like, be brave and do that. If this movie was brave, you would have had your Jodie Foster on the pinball scene. Like, on
this movie not brave. This movie just had a crazy shit.
No, it's not. It's being sloppy, and actually what they cherry picked out of the Bible.
I don't know.
What they cherry picked.
I half agree. I understand.
Because none of it. So here's the thing. You're merging Old and New Testament.
So here's the thing: you have Cain and Abel. In no way is Cain and Abel linked to industrialization. In no way. And
Right.
and you're picking this low hanging fruit, like almost the same position with Get Out.
Hold on. Why do you think that Cain and Abel had industrialization?
Because you
mindset.
Because you can't pick parts of the Old Testament and say that things that are happening today are because of Cain and Abel. You're essentially saying things that happen in a fantasy like The Hobbit are interfering with deforestation.
I think that it's kind of everything's Cain and Abel. It's jealousy.
It's not.
It's jealousy and want of the other person. The other person was inheriting
because
Cain was inheriting all of the wealth.
But here's
and then that created jealousy, anger, fear,
but
murder.
That doesn't apply.
Leads to suffering. Leads to the dark side.
That's
right?
Old Testament.
It
doesn't apply to the new.
Did you get my Star Wars joke?
It doesn't. Yeah. But no, and doing Adam and Eve doesn't apply to the interpretation of people abusing religion for selfish gains.
But I don't know. See, I don't really know what Jackson Pollock and Catwoman were doing, because I don't really know if they were.
I think they had been Adam and Eve.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Adam and Eve besides the initial banging.
Well, they were in like the garden. They were they were tempted by the serpent. Right, they had to been pure. They could not have been corrupted. They got corrupted, So like Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve kind of, I just think the way they were structured in this have the same lesson, which is evil and corruption. Mm-hmm. Like you let one of these people into your house, and the evil is going to corrupt everyone. Which is
wait a second. Do you think that Catwoman? We're just gonna do all characters here. Is Catwoman the devil?
I thought
because
Hollis was the devil.
All she does.
I kind of picked up Hollis.
Hollis is a zealot. Hollis is a zealot that is, Hollis Mason.
Yeah.
So the guy who plays Hollis Mason in Watchmen, old Hollis Mason. You know Hollis Mason.
I will say this. This is one of the best things about watching movies with Mark, because you pick up on that stuff so much quicker than me. Like I'm in there and I'm analyzing New Testament versus Old Testament, and
hey, here's Hollis Mason.
You're like, here's Hollis Mason, and I'm like,
here's the night out from Watchmen.
Yeah, then I'm like, under the hood.
See, I almost want to say, because she's his second wife.
Yeah,
that's his second wife.
So I think they mashed some ideas together. I think it was Adam and Eve, and she was also
and all she does
serpent.
is talk about to Mother. What's wrong with him? Like, you're gorgeous. Why wouldn't he just ravish you? You need to have children. Like, that's stemming that on.
And here's a little.
And she's touching him, and she's touching.
She's favoring Frankenstein versus versus Hunger Games.
So
Javier Bardem's Frankenstein.
Right. I need his name from Old Comfort New because I don't have that guy.
But okay. So to interrupt real quick. Then we got to wrap this up soon. My other issue, though, is that if you're going to acknowledge that God exists, which I think this movie does, okay, then if you're the creator of everything, including time, okay, it's almost like a Dr. Manhattan position where why do you care about the Earth at all? Like, why are the two of them even in the same room? God does not care about the Earth. Like, he's the creator of all. He is almost like not interested in the physical. He's interested in it's spiritual. He's interested in the spiritual body, not the Earth. So now, like, arguing that the Earth has a spirit that is somehow befriended to God, even though God created all of it, the two of them should not be. It's no different than Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan having to be in the same room, and where Dr. Manhattan says the smartest man in the world is as significant as like the smartest flea in the world. I have to go create the new 52 now.
Right. That's exactly right. With the button.
You idiot.
But don't you think? No. But I always kind of I feel that there's multiple concepts of God giving man free will, and then he watches them. He's watching to me like he's like ideas have set free, and that's what I think she's yelling at him. Say, wait, just get everyone. He's like, I can't have them not believing me. Like, I can't have them telling me to go away. I feed off of it. I'm the wrestler. I'm the entertainer.
But I'll tell you one thing.
Anton Sugar. That was the guy's name. That's who it is. Sugar. The god is Anton Sugar.
I think the best part of this entire movie though was the Jesus part, where when they took the baby, because like that was abstract enough for you to fear for a baby, to know what was about to happen.
The crowd reaction to that, and probably myself, if you saw me, I was like I literally like jumped. I would jump back. I'm like, oh fuck! Like I was like, I didn't say that, but I was like, oh no.
And that's where
it got like completely insane.
And those parts of those movies, like that, those are the parts of the movie where it should have been. It should have been more. At the beginning of the movie, there should have been more. Like, I hate to say it, I think it needed a soundtrack. I think it needed like. When she's getting nervous and people are coming in and they're not listening to her.
Well, they did the house making noises and the spurs and the clanks and the things, and she had to run into the bathroom, and then the bathroom made extra noises for her.
Yeah, it was too subtle for me. I hate to say it. It had been more.
That might be. I don't know.
It had been more.
I would love to watch it just to watch the sound. I'm seeing it again. I already have a scheduled date where I'm seeing it very soon, and I'll do a solo on it and be like, okay, here we go. Like
you come back here and do a solo.
I'm doing it. I'll
do it
live.
Mother Point out, we'll call it the episode.
I just think that
come back here and do a solo.
So let's. I just want to kind of circle back to the beginning of the conversation we had when we first got in the car. I find this fascinating that this is opened on like 4,000 screens.
Yeah.
That like I just think it was marketed terribly. If this was marketed like The Sixth Sense and there's a twist ending, I feel that even if it fails for most audiences, more people would see it.
Yeah.
Because I feel that it's rewarding. I think once it hits that climax. And once they have all those revelations, I think most people are going to get it. Even if they don't love it, they're going to understand it. The Village. I almost feel like it's a Village situation.
Yeah.
Where like the Village is very divisive.
I back up The Village.
I hate The Village.
It's a well put together movie.
I agree with that.
That's because you're hung up on advertising, like with everything. Which is kind of weird because this movie isn't resonating because of the disgusting advertising.
Right, I know. Right. Because of the weird porcelain paintings.
Disgusting
and she literally has her heart out at one point. That should be a very post-movie movie poster. That movie poster is bizarre. And then to have the Rosemary's Baby like homage poster is confusing because the lady who was next to me, the 60-year-old lady, probably saw 70. She's probably 70.
Yeah,
I thought she was going to have a heart attack through one of the points. She's hyperventilating through the one point in the movie. I'm like, this lady's going to die next to me.
The funny thing, I was waiting for a hook because when she got pregnant, I'm just thinking Jesus. The entire time I'm thinking Jesus. It turned out to be Jesus. I would love for that to have been the curveball that I was waiting for. Because like I said, this movie is also too literal. I don't, like, as of right now talking to you, I would have to think about it. I don't know what that baby could have been to like hit that note that I was looking for, but I was waiting for a hook because I thought the setup for that, because I love the idea that she woke up and she knew she was pregnant. I don't know why, but I'm like, it's mystical, and I'm like, oh, like that's a little bit of magic that's in here, like right. But I don't know, like it's really hard for me to tell people to see it because like it's just because I think it doesn't say anything and doesn't make any points. Like I don't know what the point is that humanity's going to destroy Earth and there's just going to be another cycle. Okay. Fist of the North Star does that. I'll watch Fist of the North Star.
To me, like, I kind of go back to what I want, like what I want in films. What I want in films is it's the same thing when I read something.
You don't want it on like a certain level though. You don't want it to have like to be responsible when it hits the subject matter.
I think it is.
It's not.
I feel like once they're in the climax of that room, sloppy. I feel that. And you saw Arrival, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, Arrival 6 The Landing. But I could have had a half hour with them explaining language.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
All right. Now,
but
people don't like. Okay, so this is where the convention of advertising, and this is the part of my other themes that I was going to, is that people don't like Arrival because they wanted the world to explode.
Yeah.
And then it didn't.
Battle
and
LA
then
or,
it
or
moved.
Independence
You know,
Day.
my sister saw Arrival, and she's like, "I need to talk to you about that," because she knows that she's like, "What do you think about it?" Like, she needed to talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Because she probably told some of her friends, who are like, "That movie sucked. That didn't have the ending I wanted. Didn't have this what I wanted." So
Yeah.
I feel like that challenge, and that's where I'm very curious what Denis Villeneuve's going to do with the Blade Runner thing. Like, I feel that's totally going to land. I feel like it's going to land.
That movie,
Of course, I said Valerian was going to be the biggest box office throughout,
No, look.
and be great.
there's and maybe we'll touch on this real soon for like a quickie conversation. But there is something happening now. Okay, I think we're at the end of a paradigm shift, in not just movies and comics, but in absorption of content, and we're now seeing the repercussions of that content absorption. Because even this movie, when you're talking about the screens, which again is a great observation, okay, you know what? Netflix and Amazon could have fronted the money and had the same like payout that the studio has. Like, you know, like Netflix could have paid the money to get this movie, put it out, and probably made money on it, versus the studio now losing
Yeah, Paramount's
Probably-
going to lose. I don't know much.
probably 30, 35
Because you
mil.
can't sell this overseas. You're not going to be able to get foreign rights on
Yeah,
this.
how can you sell this?
You can't sell it.
can't.
Like we talked
How
about,
can you-
Valerian is good. Is not
Yeah,
great.
we were talking about this in
but
the-
it's doing well overseas. It flopped here. But I just find it fascinating that he's able to get this movie made, but still have control. Just like, I wish someone else controlled that marketing.
so
I feel if this came out, if this did this thing, and it comes out, and it's marketed like a Shyamalan film, as a twist ending, even if it doesn't add up. Like, what was that movie? What was the elevator movie? It was a Shyamalan written.
Oh, that was
Devil?
Devil, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was 10 million budget, 10, 12 million.
Not a fantastic movie, but good. Like good. It's good.
See-
but it was marketed the right way, and it made a lot of money.
yeah. See, right, and
But if it wasn't marketed the right way, it would have made.
but it also stuck with a concept. It stuck with an easy concept, and look, and this is what we're seeing now is it versus Mother. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Two horror movies.
and there's
technically, yes.
there's reasons why one of them really you can say became a sensation, which is it. Okay, and Mother did not. And
I think it's a little bit of a cheat, unfortunately, because I feel like it's a sequel. Because so many people have saw that old miniseries, and that miniseries was super available now. It's so available right now.
yeah, but
And a lot of people watched it before they saw the new one. And I feel like Stranger Things like warmed them up to that nostalgia.
Well, maybe, or I was just part of a discussion I had last night. People love the idea of this of a corrupt or possessed horror clown. Like the horror clown idea is like it's like the when the zombie thing kicked in. Okay, people were like, we'll just say Walking Dead. When Walking Dead, the reason why Walking Dead became a phenomenon, because you kind of had a generation of people, you know, like absorbing content, doing all these things, kind of like making zombie movies in their head, watching zombie movies, and not getting this really dirty, realistic, drawn out, serialized approach to like a zombie continuity.
Right, it was
And-
a 2-hour movie. It's over. It's concluded.
And
That's it.
but we saw a dissection of the zombie like catches, meaning that Night of the Living Dead had the Venus comet, right? Like that's how it explained the okay. And then there was like 28 days later, which was like, okay, let's play with the concept and let's explain the blood transfusion. So like there was this dissection, and then Walking Dead just was able to like bleed it out and have this like the real apocalypse angle, which is what everyone never was getting. Okay, so like we're when it comes to it, what competes with, because the book is hard. I don't know. No one can tell me that's a good book. The book is The book is literally
it's a multi universal turtle. We're all in the back of a turtle.
It's a no. Yeah, but
That's the thing.
Well, it's a turtle that spewed up our galaxy, coughed it up, and the turtle
Men in Black style.
just coughed it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the cat,
Like the cat at the end playing with the ball. That's us.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It's all
okay. So here's the whole thing. The It novel is a drugged out, like 100% drugged out Stephen King writing 900
pages.
Yeah, just
Like, it's
writing
gigantic.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Okay, not deciding to leave anything out. Like it's okay.
And then there's a gangbang. There's a
Yeah, which is a little bit. People have confused what like where that is in the book. Okay, but it's in the book to bond them, because they have to be bonded to fight this thing. But here's the crazy. So, like the idea of the clown within it, okay, is the best idea for a horror clown that we've ever seen. Because the closest competition is like Stitches, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and Clown on Netflix. And the Clown in that, which is probably the best one, because Clown on Netflix is way better than it. Clown on Netflix, I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times. Every time we talk, I've seen it one more time. Because I always watch it with people, and people love that movie, okay? But the thing is, though, what got people in the theater for it is that the horror clown fires the imagination enough for people to bring their friends, for people to want to have an experience together. Now, will part 2 rise to part 1 for it? I don't think so, because now we get into the origin of the monster, which is completely dumb, retarded. Okay, and if this thing's the opposite of the mystical turtle that creates our world and creation, why is this thing in the town? Like, why is it settling to be underground in the town eating children? You're the opposite of good creation. You're actually evil creation, and you're picking a town in Earth to eat kids every 30 years.
New England.
There's no balance. Like, cause the Earth is the turtle's doing cosmic things, and the opposite is in the sewer eating kids. There's like it's
a weird inverse. There's no inverse.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not the same thing. It's almost like saying like Galactus only comes to Earth to eat it. He's not coming to Earth to interact with humans, because Galactus's contemporaries are him. It's the living tribunal. They're equal to him.
Right.
But Galactus isn't sitting down on Earth, hanging out, eating things. And that's the equivalent, okay? And that's what I mean. So I like, the only thing that's going to save, we'll say this, Dream Warriors prediction. Dream Warriors prediction. The only
exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. The only thing that's going to save is going to save it is the case who they get to play the adults, and they need
Harry Anderson, Ned O'Toole. I'm just kidding.
How about? I think they're going to get one or the other. They're going to get
Idris Elba.
They're going to get, what's her name?
Amy Adams.
The girl from no. What's her name from Atomic Blonde? They're gonna get her.
The Charlize.
They're gonna get her, and then they're gonna get
Furiosa.
Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool. Furiosa and Deadpool.
Yeah, and
Atomic Blonding Deadpool.
And I think what's his name? Gosling would pick this movie.
The driver,
and possibly Rocket Raccoon.
The Brad Coops.
Yeah, I and maybe Jason Isaac to play the lead, the dorkier kid,
the kid with asthma.
Yeah, because the fat kid's going to be jacked in the sequel.
Or Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, yeah.
Either one.
Scott Pilgrim gets no work now.
He's going to play every. No, he's playing every person who treated Molly Bloom like shit in the Molly Bloom movie.
Okay.
He's an amalgamation of Tobey Maguire, Ben Affleck. He's an amalgamation. Yeah, he's in.
That sounds good. Okay.
The weird thing with the Molly Bloom movie is that it's like the Facebook. Aaron Sorkin's making like the Facebook movie about this underground.
Okay.
So he's writing it and directing it. It's supposed to be great. However, they don't. Even though the book like whistleblows everyone.
Yeah.
They just amalgamize every person that treated her like shit.
You know what I think?
He's basically playing Tobey Maguire, because Tobey Maguire treated her like the worst.
We're getting better with stacking episodes and stacking content, but I think one of the things I would love to see from you when because we have to start it soon. You're doing your solo shows.
The Aaron Sorkin shows.
Yeah, I would love it for you.
I could do full Aaron Sorkin shows.
I love Aaron Sorkin. He's like, again, probably the best dialogue writer of his generation.
Where he's doing massive amounts of cocaine. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah,
admittedly.
But he, dude, Sunset Studio on the Strip or Studio.
I don't love that.
I love that show.
No,
dude,
Studio 60.
Studio 60 on the Sunset.
There was two
Strip.
shows. There was 30 Rock and that show premiered at the same time, doing the same exact thing.
One a drama, one a sitcom,
and 30 Rock went for like 8 seasons.
Well, technically 3, because then you had the show. You had Saturday Night
Live literally doing Saturday Night Live.
One network doing 3 shows of the same concept, just a different angle.
I think Sports Night is like fantastic writing. Josh Charles, Robert Guillaume, Felicity Huffman, Peter Krause, Josh Molina. That's the most rhythmic. I watched all of that last year. The season 1, season 2.
Yeah.
And that they literally towards the second season, the middle of the second season, they're trying to cancel the show and they're trying to cancel Sports Night. So it bleeds. It's super meta.
Yeah.
And then what sucks is that the person bailing them out is Philip Coulson. So if Clark Gregg shows up, Philip Coulson shows up, and he's like, "We're gonna give you another season." He was supposed to represent ahead in ABC, I think it was, and then it didn't get renewed, and it was a bummer because it ends on the season finale. Ended up being series finale was like, yeah, we are renewing you, and it was a soft renew, and it didn't get, and then they blew it up.
That's cool.
And I remember when that happened. Then all of a sudden, Felicity Huffman gets cast for Desperate Housewives, and I'm like, shit, this is all going to go away. And then it was boom. That's
always because the casting and the production for network shows overlaps. So because you need lead-in time, when shows are canceled or when characters are going to leave shows or get killed off. You kind of knew it for Lost.
Well, Agent Carter, that thing happened with Agent Carter was they're like, she's doing this show on ABC, and I was like, no, she's Agent Carter, and then they're like, no, Agent Carter season 3. I'm like, yeah, I get it,
and they're like,
yeah, that show didn't work. I'm like, yeah, because she wasn't Agent Carter, in that show, you fucking idiot. Just because it's the same girl doesn't mean the show's gonna work.
Right? Yeah.
It's I think they took the one dude from an NCIS or something like that, and my mom watches the show. I forget what it's called. He plays a lawyer. His name's I don't know. It's not Huff or something.
Yeah.
Stupid. Bull. That's what it is.
Okay.
And he's the wacky character on that. He's the Fonz on NCIS. Yeah, he left and does that show, and that show's not doing well. I'm like, shocker, because it's a different character.
Yeah.
He's not a main character.
Well, they've I think since Seinfeld and Friends, when they've tried to create a blueprint to do that to character actors, and they make them portray they create these other characters that are probably somewhat smarter. Joey had his show and he was an actor.
Joey was smarter.
Yeah,
Joey
was just a little bit smarter than the Joey and Friend. and
alternate dimension Joey. Frasier was.
Yeah.
But Frasier went though, dude. Frasier fucking went.
Yeah, but Frasier. So here's the thing: Frasier was a character that left that show, and went to see in Cheers. He moves to Seattle, so it was Frasier. It was a transplant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but even Julia Louise, the Veep show, which is fantastic. She's the same character, right?
What? She's Elaine.
She's Elaine in that show. She's just a political Elaine. She has the same characteristics, the same tropes, the same triggers. She plays the characters the same.
I've never watched Veep, actually.
Yeah, and every time they make because even Kramer had a detective show. Kramer, and he wasn't Kramer, and he wasn't close to Kramer. He was just slightly smarter than Kramer in that show, and you're just like, Michael Richards now.
We should do a dissection. I'm gonna write this down.
We really should.
We should do a topic dissection of bad spinoffs.
Yeah, just spinoffs
spinoffs, and are they the same character?
Oh yeah, right there. Okay, so
because I theorized there was one where I was watching Grosse Point Blank, and I know that there's differences. I'm like, what if this was Lloyd Doppler? Does Lloyd Doppler grow up and be
it's so funny how it works in movies because it's Grosse Point Blank and its potential sequel, The Ice Harvest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Potential sequel, but I feel like
good.
But I feel like it's the same when it comes to Michael Mann, where James Caan in Thief is technically the same character that Robert De Niro is in Heat. And he's an older version of himself now from the movie Thief. And
Right.
I think in movies it works because there's you spend 2 hours learning about a character, and usually when it's sitcom to sitcom, you have other characters because sitcoms are built on supporting cast, like same as Spider-Man, like same as comic books, and you spend less time with the character and the dissection of that character and who they are takes 5 or 6 episodes, takes a month of you having a commitment to view it, but in the movie you can get it in 15-20 minutes, and it's one form of like content versus the other, just the way because it's still like sitcoms have to be amazingly simple and repetitive because they're week to week, and they're not streaming, and we've seen it with Netflix. Where Netflix doesn't Netflix relies on A, B, C, D. Like you're going from A through L in one night,
Right.
episode wise,
Right.
and the characters can go through these waves, and they don't have to end up where they began. But in network television, you do. Like
Well, they have to end for commercial break too. I mean, there's a whole writing. There's completely different changes that you can do.
Yeah, they have like 6-minute like blocks, and sometimes even different writers are working on different minute blocks.
So a comedy on like a half-hour comedy on HBO can operate. Oh, one got leaked this week, and on that Game of Thrones leak.
Oh, really?
And I caught it before it got pulled, and I sent it to my friend, and I went to watch the second episode. I watched the beginning of that.
Pirater.
It was streaming. But if I don't download it, it's not illegal. All right, I'm just saying that on a recorded.
Do you subscribe to the HBO service?
I have every channel. I now when I moved, I have.
Okay.
I got a deal.
I have every
channel.
I would say that's fine.
I have HBO Go. I had Showtime Go or whatever it's called. Showtime Now.
Yeah,
they're all fucking different.
Yeah,
I had Showtime Go for Twin Peaks. So that was my first foray.
Okay. Well, then I
have every channel 100%.
I would say in that scenario, I accept it because at least you're paying
going to
HBO.
Watch. Right. This I'm going to watch. Like, so there's a show called Barry.
Okay.
That is not coming on until February. So this is
wow.
Yeah. And it's Bill Hader as a hitman, kind of like Grosse Pointe Blank.
I love Bill Hader.
And he doesn't want to do it anymore. And he has to murder someone who's in improv. So he ends up going to like this improv show.
Yeah.
Gets invited on stage, and then he becomes like enamored with this concept.
What?
And
that's cool.
Then all of a sudden, like because he doesn't kill his mark on time, just like in Grosse Pointe Blank, it's kind of very similar. The mark gets killed, and now he's in danger, and then he kills all the people that killed the mark, which are like these like Russian mobsters. And
it's so much like Grosse Pointe Blank.
It's exactly like the same thing. But and then Stephen Root, and I would say that like I don't buy Bill Hader as like any type of like sharpshooter.
But that's why it's
But it was
funny.
it was pretty cool the one time when he's like he goes to go say, "Hey, Michael," or whatever the mark, and he's dead, and he's like he turns around, and he sees these people, and they see him, he sees them, and he's like, "Okay," and he pulls out these guns and he starts killing them, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like that's
cool.
It's weird, but now like. Now I don't know what second episode is going to be. It's only going to be. I think it's only supposed to be 8 episodes, 6 episodes, or 8 episodes. HBO, Bill Hader, but he co-created, which is pretty. Yeah. It was a lot darker than I expected it to be. It's cool.
Is he a part of the Adam Sandberg camp?
Andy Samberg?
Andy Samberg, yeah.
No, he's kind of on his own. He's actually more in line with
like who is because they're all packed together like the SNL.
No,
they have their own little like wolf packs.
He had more of a kinship. He works on South Park still. He actually wrote in South Park, and he's in one of the documentaries. Like he works on story, and he does a lot of voices.
I gotta check that again.
That
You're talking about the one documentary where he's making Legos. He talks about like he eats McDonald's because it's so stressful, and McDonald's just brings him happiness. Because they make an episode every 4 days, or
I forget what the documentary is called. Yeah, I don't remember, but it's called 4 Days or something like 4 Days to Air.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
There's also a Saturday Night Live documentary that James Franco directed that is okay, just because it had John Malkovich as the director, and it wasn't like, but it was interesting to watch them work.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Through midnight, like, and just kind of always working.
Yeah. Well, they've tried the process for SNL is fascinating, and that's why it's almost like. It's so unique. It's good that the network stuck with it even during when it gets slow and dark.
Well, it paid their entire. I think pretty much everyone at NBC got paid last year because of SNL.
Yeah,
like not like that. That was the #1 primetime show, and it wasn't a primetime show.
Yeah.
It was Saturday night that made, it was like 9 or 10 million. Like the ratings were higher than any other network show. It beat every network show.
It's kind of like at one time, remember like when Mad TV was the biggest thing and it seemed to be carrying like Fox Late Night? Like,
Right.
Like Fox was able to kind
Mad
of
TV
build
later
things
on
around
got
Mad
better
TV.
because you literally had Key and Peele in there. Like,
Yeah.
plopped. And you had some good writers and stuff in there.
Yeah.
So
Well, Bobby, what's his name? Bobby Weeby, I think is his name. The fat Asian dude that's in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in love. Is he in love? He's like the computer programmer,
Yeah,
the IT guy.
Yeah.
Dude, his brother has a YouTube show called the Stevie Weeby Show. Dude, I'll show it to you before you leave. It's the funniest. He lives in this crazy small apartment in LA. Lived there for years. Doesn't have a job. Just does the YouTube stuff. And this dude is so funny when he interviews people because he.
Was it like what was that one kid's name? Jason Milanakis. What was that kid? Andy Milanakis.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's funny, but it's almost so dry you don't know what's an act and what's not.
Yeah.
Which is kind of amazing. But real quick, yeah. You want to just wrap
Let's
this
wrap
up?
this, and then we'll go
else?
into our other
Yeah,
discussion.
or
We'll
like
just do straight up like, news. Or you want to just keep going?
We're 2 hours in.
We're do a soft end.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk when we're done with this. Just signing off, right?
Signing off. Episode. What episode is this?
This is going to. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with the
Road to 100.
Yeah.
That's always going to work. Road to 100. We're over 50.
Yeah, because
We're doing great.
Because I recorded a snap reaction to 31, and we were talking in the car where I might want to shelf that for a Halloween release, and I think we should try and do 31 episodes in October.
Oof. Oh.
But we can. But they're just 30.
We had September 17th today.
Yeah, but
I
it's
just dated it. I dated the episode.
It's
oh,
all right.
No.
Well, no, because this is
This
either
you have to get out soon.
well,
Mother.
Well, this yeah.
You have to get this out before it's out of the theaters.
Yeah, which is Wednesday.
which is Wednesday. They're not even showing it Thursday.
Yeah,
They're not
which
even
is
doing
the
a last
20th.
chance
Yeah,
Thursday. Sorry.
This episode will be live on the 18th or the 19th. Okay, so we're fine. You know, with
Mother, I
with,
say
with
go
our,
see it. It'll challenge you.
Okay, I would
I'll
say
send you your money back. I'll
say-
PayPal your Venmo you. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez, do not even say that.
never
Mark
know.
does not mean that. Mark's
Spoilers, I don't have either of those
Mark's
accounts.
very high right now.
That Corona is right.
Yeah, that Corona hit
That
me.
Corona got me
Yeah.
just right. I'm PayPaling everyone.
What's in that extra Corona?
extra?
Yeah. Okay, signing out. Dream Warriors.